The South, ladies and gentlemen, once again, here we are. My name is Israel Mzwakhe Zulu, also known as GP Maoresh. Allow me to introduce our guests today, Alfred Mzwakhe Sighudla. Alfred Mzwakhe Sighudla, my brother, how's it? Aye, number one.
Aye, number one.
Without wasting any time, in fact, it's because you are Matariana. Good. Siyabonga ukuthi usivumele ukuthi size la officeini lakho sizoku-interview. Mara le is not an interrogation. Le ithi ngithi akusi-interview futhi. Let's just have a conversation. As nation builders, as leaders of the country, as concerned citizens of the country, who is Mzwakhe Sighudla?
Yeah, well,
Mzwakhe Alfred Sighudla. Who are you, my brother?
I think it's a burning question of our time. A lot of people, they always ask themselves,
yeah.
Basically, Mzwakhe Sighudla is a humble guy from Mpumalanga, grew up in Mpumalanga. I came to Gauteng, I went to University of Pretoria, studied there. I'm a person who's passionate about community development. This is what I've done throughout my life.
Yeah.
I worked with the NGO space for some time. And then I'm a social entrepreneur.
Social entrepreneur.
That's the thing. I'm a social entrepreneur because working in the social space does not mean that you must not be sustainable as a person and also as an organization. So I am a social entrepreneur, and I do have also a lot of other things. I'm a family man.
Yeah.
I've got kids.
You've got kids.
And which I'm very proud to be their father.
You are the father. You are the father.
I'm also the husband.
You are the husband. So you are originally from Mpumalanga.
Yeah.
Nelspruit.
Yeah, exactly.
Then you are a CEO or you are a president of the organization.
I'm currently the executive director, which translates to be a CEO.
Oh, you are an executive director.
Yes.
Which it translated to be a CEO of the organization.
Yeah, CEO for that.
What is the name of your organization?
The organization is Southern African Youth Movement, which is properly known as SAYM.
SAYM.
Yes.
Southern African Youth Movement.
Exactly.
When did it start?
No, around, if I recall, around Buma 2002. Young people of the region.
Yeah.
I think Kimberley.
How old were you?
I just finished high school and I was just in the university then. And then
okay, you were in the 20s?
Later, no, I mean there was probably 18, 19, somewhere there.
When you started the organization?
When you started, of course, with many other young people in the region.
Okay.
I was not the only one, but there were quite a number of people who were involved.
Actually, it's a national organization.
It's an international organization.
International
because it operates in various countries. We've got partners in different countries in the SADC region. Yeah. And we are also partners all over the world. I mean, the organization started then. The issue was to say, how do we then look at the challenges of young people then? Yeah. In holistically.
Yeah.
You're looking about issues of job creation. You look about issues of skills development. You're looking about that's why the motto has always been expanding the world of possibility, but also provide space to interact, which we've done. We've got young people from America, young people from Europe, from Africa. We've traveled the world, different countries.
Basically, the organization was concerned about the rights of the youth.
Exactly. That the rights of the youth to
be
active
from the parliament.
Exactly.
To the ground level.
Yes, to be active.
From the laws, the bylaws, and on the ground level, skills development, education, social development, educational side of the youth. Am I right?
Yeah, I think you're correct. I mean, if you look at the footprints and everything, we looked at the footprints. We have done amazing work, and I feel like a podcast of this nature, I think, is important for us.
Yes.
Because I had a lot of inquiries of quite a number of people in media space wanting to interview me, really get to know what we are doing and so on. Because you see, when you grow, there's what you call a growth risk.
Yeah.
And the fact that you then become an organization that attracts so much funding from the public sector, then it means but this guy, they've got
they receive funding
1 billion.
Other organizations, it's difficult for them.
Then what is happening with the 1 billion? And there would always be perceptions around that. But obviously, as a person, you must be available for public scrutiny. And then you must be able to set your record straight. But in Shanghai, they say so we look at what has been done on the ground. And then, for instance, if you spoke some programs, so in South Africa,
since 2002, since we started,
we have touched over 2 million people in that process. It's not a small number that we have. And then we have got people that have directly managing big public employment programs where we're paying almost 1.1 billion per annum. And then what you then do, looking at the work that these people must do in order to get a stipend, or your exit plans and so on. So the type of initiatives that we have started in the ground, they can speak for themselves. We have also drug and substance abuse. It's a big issue in the country. We built 2 facilities, complete facility with the status of medical status, because the type of a license you require, you will have to have detox certificate, you'll have to have the certificates from social development.
It's not about admitting there must be some medication there.
Yeah, because it's statutory function.
Psychologists.
And that's why a lot of people, when they ask us to say, when do you open? Then we realize to say, look, there's one thing to build a building, but there's compliance that you need to look at. Your food, your nutrition policy, your admission policy, your everything, the structures that, and the social development must be happy that we have got a capacity to administer, because these are what we call statutory functions, which are regulated through an act of parliament. So, so you can't just operate.
So, Mr. Sighudla, how difficult it is as an NGO or as an NPO to access funding?
Well, I think it's
in the African Youth Movement, how did you overcome that?
Look, I think there is a constant struggle for many NGOs, not only South Africa but internationally. Because you must understand, with my NGO, a survivor calling a philanthropy, people must donate, people must look at that. But if the economy is growing at the rate at which it's growing in South Africa, but also global, there's what you call economic recession. So it means the giveaways become less, and the most affected then becomes the NPOs and NGOs and so on. And the fact that the policy in South Africa, if you look at the NPO Act, does look at with the aspect of how this NPO can be supported. But I don't think that the country as yet, NGO as a delivery partner to service, as a partner to deliver government services. I think for me, I think that's where we lack, because if NPOs and NGOs are seen as strategic partners to government, we are talking about a $1 trillion budget in this country. There's no NGO that would not be funded. Because the budget is there. It's the question of how it's allocated, and also the independence of NGOs and NPOs. I feel that's where we need to meet, and we want to really thank the President of the Republic. You will recall that we had recently the Presidential Social Sector Summit, and there are outcomes of those, and most of the things the President has signed, which we are happy. Now we are working towards rolling out the implementation of those, which would include the fact. But it is a big challenge for NGOs, and NGOs are doing a very good work. They are doing a very good work.
So, Mr. Sighudla, I'm an ambassador of Southern African Youth myself. Let people know. Besides that, I know it started way back. I think I've joined Southern African Youth Movement in 2006, if I'm correct. And then it operated in a small office. But we look at now 2024. When we walk in here, this is a big structure. How did the organization achieve that? And what can you say to another small NGOs that look up to Southern African Youth Movement, and how many maybe successors has Southern African Youth Movement produced as predecessor of the small organizations, the NGOs? I know from where you are, there's a lot of young people who've been here in this organization and they've moved forward. Maybe some of them, they have their own organizations.
Well, I think you see the interesting part about when you look at tracking, we have got people that have worked in this organization that have established law firms, big business in the country that are actually a product. One of them is Mr. Sighudla, who actually worked here. He's got a law firm. We've got Mr. Mola, who's got a law firm. We've got people who are running successful businesses, and we've got also people who are running their own organizations as we speak, as a result of the type of training and capacity that we have done. We've got plenty of cooperatives that are running sustainable businesses today that we have also trained and contributed to. So the success has been investing correctly. We've got our headquarters here, and we've got offices across the country. Across the country, fully furnished with one body working there. We have got, in terms of the staff component currently, you look at the cost staff of over 300 and something. The cost staff, but when you look at the interns and if you look at the interns and the people that we're supporting, they are over. Currently, we are sitting at about 80,000 in the. Which we are paying, by the way, 80,000 people. Some they are participants, some they, and we are grateful to an organization like IDT. IDT gives us almost 25 million overall for this type of stipend, and we are also thankful to Incocta. They give us the stipend to pay them. But we then decide in terms of and so on. This is basically what we are doing in the country, in the provinces, and so on. So we are doing well. I think the work speaks for itself. We've got huge numbers that are looking at it. We also into entertainment because young people are there. We coordinate arts and culture festivals across the country. One of them is in Linyenye. It's coming in 11 May.
Touching Life.
Touching Life
music festival.
The Touching Life has contributed immensely in the community of Zanini. And the municipality is very proud of that. They are partnering. It's an event that attracts over 30,000 people, and has got a lot of activities like fitness issues, because young people have to fit. You've got your aerobics, you've got your dance competition, you've got hikings, we've got hiking. We've provided stalls for people to be able to sell their merchandise, generate income, and you look at the documentaries that have been done around that. It's excellent. So, in our view, we are saying we see this as an opportunity to contribute, because the tendency that we have is to always criticize government. We have taken a position that we are not going to criticize government. What we are saying to government, like in the instance of the Zanini, we say Zanini, here's the Nye Stadium that has not been used for many years. We came in with our participants. I remember the first annual. We cleaned the stadium. There was no lights. We provided lights to the stadium. And then we hosted an event. Now, other artists like Munada, they are now hosting the events there. Now the stadium is useful. It was a white elephant. Now it's a stadium that is used on day-to-day basis. And so we have partnered with. We didn't say municipality, you are not doing your work. We then said to the COCTA. We went to COCTA with our proposal. To COCTA, we've got these initiatives that we have submitted a proposal. What is COCTA? Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs. They've looked at the proposal and they appointed us. They gave us an opportunity. We work with the government. So we are encouraging also MPOs to look at as much as there's a point where we demand accountability to our leaders and so on. But we also need to say to social development, these are in all initiatives, and then coordinate ourselves nationally. We've been having a conversation to say our umbrella body is very weak at national level, and it's not properly supported, because that's why NGOs are so frustrated. You go everywhere, as you know, through Mzwakhe, the Mzwakhe Zulu Foundation, the type of requests that people come, but they don't know where to go. So I think these are the things that we need to look at. But we also want to set the record straight. SIM got a clean audit for the last 20 years. externally audited for all the funds we've received.
Yeah.
There's no partner. There's no partner that has given us money. By the way, we're also funded by the United Nations.
Yeah.
We got the United Nations. We've been to the you've been to the UN Assembly, participated in the UN Assembly. We've been fasted. No one has ever complained and said you have not done this and that.
Yeah.
And of course, because you receive money from the public, there will always be investigations that are done to check whether the money has been used and everything.
Yeah.
But for us, where we're given money, there are structures to be seen. We posted them. We even invited the media to say, come and see, witness and everything. And we then said, here is this. And the good thing about this is that we're also complying with the social development. By the way, we post annual reports to social development as per the requirement of the Act, including our financials. Yeah. Meaning that the public, if they're interested, they can go there and pull their reports from there. The Act allows them to do so. Yes. And we do publish our national reports in our website to say this is basically what we've done, and people can interact with what we've done and then hold us accountable if necessary. Yeah. Yeah. But it's unfortunate that sometimes there will always be these negative issues and everything, not being given a proper opportunity to explain ourselves in certain things.
Tell me about those NGOs who receive funds and misuse them. Maybe I apply, then I receive funding, then I buy a BMW, I buy a house with a swimming pool, then I don't deliver.
Well, there will always be those, the import sector is not different from any other sector in society. You've got companies that are given money from government. In fact, they are even doing worse. They are not delivering. There are a number of those stories that we can talk about. Yeah. I mean, we have a Zondo Commission, we've got all these other things that are being mentioned. So we encourage MPO. That's why we are working towards what we call a voluntary code of conduct with an umbrella body where we then pledge and everything, because the tendency is that when one organization does that, then all MPOs are painted in the same brush with no nanonge vele niyajonja and so on, and sometimes they're not even given the opportunity. But the other thing is that there's no proper what we call institutional support from NGO. Because for instance, if you receive funds, you need to have an accountant, you need to have a financial manager, you need to have auditors that must audit you, you need to have proper structure and everything. In most cases, you'll find that if those things, those corporate structures are lacking, then you'll find that there will be abuses of resources that are received by those NPOs. But it's something that we don't encourage. We feel that it's something that we need to see and so on. But we are enjoying in South Africa to deal with that. That's why we came recently to the Presidential Social Sector Summit. And some of these were highlighted there. But even the support, that's why now, as part of the outcome of the Presidential Social Sector Summit, what we've agreed with the President, I must also indicate that I was in the task team, presidential task team that looks at these issues. And then there is a civil society fund that is envisaged to be developed through that process. So we are now looking at how to roll out the outcomes of the Presidential Social Summit issues, and we are also strengthening the amendments around the MPO Act, because remember, for NGOs to operate that environment legally, then that has been looked at, and then we are dealing with it in that level.
How important it is, Mr. Alfred Sighudla, as a leader of a nation builder under the NGOs, to be also involved in entrepreneurship?
Yeah, well, I think the entrepreneurship, that's what we talk about. Earlier on, when I introduced myself, I said, I'm a social entrepreneur.
You are a social entrepreneur.
So basically, then what we mean is that making business with the community or in a group than an individual. And that's why we believe that we need to rethink around the issues of cooperatives, cooperative banking and so on. That's precisely the reason why we partnered with the wholesale and retail sector to look at aspects of entrepreneurship. The wholesale and retail sector gave us about 71 million allocation to deal with the training on marketing, but to all cooperatives and everything. So we are beginning to look at that thing. So entrepreneurship is the key. We need to be in a position to produce. We need to look at what are the demands in the market and what is it that that can be produced and be sold. But also internationally. I mean, not so long ago, when we're interacting with the Department of International Relations around market globally, China, for instance, the size of onions that China is looking for are quantities, even flowers, for instance, where they are willing even to train young people to produce those flowers. For the issues that you must produce and sell. So it means that for entrepreneur, it's not just making money in the easy way. It means we must make money in the hard way, because we must also be in the position to be working.
Yeah.
And these are the things that we need to be looking at. And we are also worried. I mean, we are engaging also small business. When you go orange, you Pakistan.
Yeah.
Is it not easy to train young people to fix a cell phone, stalls, malls, so that they can actually do that?
You know why I was asking the question? It's because based on my experience, life experience, I realized with my NGO, following the name non-profit organization, because are those type of organizations that receive money from the government and do whatever they do, but they are not concerned about profit making. Here I come to Southern African Youth Movement. Southern African Youth Movement, I found it productive. You've got programs whereby you produce certain products that generate economy.
We produce them, we produce all the cavities, at my scale. In some of them, we are already in spa and everything, where we are actually, our approaches are going.
Yes.
Then what we then do is that we have asked the Community Enterprise Fund to be assisting them in terms of commercializing these small initiatives. Because remember, when you get into agriculture, it is a scale that matters. So if you produce small, you won't grow, you won't even see the profit, you will even be reluctant. So it means you must get your skill right and then expand.
Yeah.
Then we sell. That's what you're saying. So what we do, we start the businesses and hand over them, those businesses, to those communities and so on and so on. But we then urge to them that they must then contribute a certain percentage to us for us to be in a position to monitor the works that they do. But we start the business first. We put our investment and then hand over. That's what we are doing. Yeah. And then it's working wonders. And then this is also what we've been saying to government. Part of the things we're saying, look, let's rethink about the land that has been given. Sitting there, fallow, akukho umuntu wenza anything ngayo ihleli. Sizoke mhlawumbe why singakusebenzisa umhlaba, because we need to look at that. That's why we said there must be recapitalization. But what you're suggesting, ukuthi asithathe lo mhlaba senze ama-turnaround business plan, kulo mhlaba basinike wona, then connect that to the market, because the market is there. Yabona, though kune monopoly around that because of shelving space, with more producer, we are quick and pay, there's no shelving space for you.
And reproduce poverty.
No, that's what we need to do. We need to look at, we need to be sustainable as a community. And this is what, we lead by example. We're at no point where we pick up, we've got a huge following. By the way, we've got millions of people, young people in the country that are following. But they've never taken those numbers politically. We are saying, look, develop yourself. These are the opportunities that we have, and we are grateful with you. We have a very good relationship with this government.
And
especially,
I've never seen an organization under NGO organizing a festival and create work for Casper Nyovest, DJ Maporisa, King Munadas, and the Makazis. Where is that strength come from? How do you develop that model?
Yeah, well, it's on marketing, branding, and also mobilizing the private sector. There are a lot of sponsors that they are supporting our work. SAB is one of them. There's quite a number of them that are giving us the support. But the corporates and the people in general, why they're supporting the Touching Life, it's because we give back. Like now, as we are talking, from the proceeds of last festival we did, we went to contribute to build a house. We'll be handing over the house on the 27th of April that we have built.
Yes.
And we want to do more. We also want to make sure that the house is so dignified. We are, so we are doing that. And then there are a number of issues that we are contributing. We'll be supporting our 16 soccer teams. as part of what you call the Touching Life Sport Festival, Sport Festival, as part of the activities of the festival. So people then identify with that. That's why they're giving us the support. I mean, if you look at, we have not released the lineup, but the number of tickets that are already sold, we are almost 30% without even the lineup. So the people are supporting the initiative, that's what we are doing, because they see value.
So the next festival is on the 11th of May.
It's on the 11th of May.
At Linyeng
Stadium. Yes.
I know it will be a festival, the whole of Tzaneen.
Exactly.
Because it's not only for the organization and the people who are entering the stadium. What I've realized when we get there, there's carnivals in the street. People are generating economy.
Look, I want to be quite honest. I want the way the way the Touching Life is, it could be turned to a carnival. But obviously the municipality must then be looking at it. Even the Limpopo tourism must be looking for it. We have got a golf day. There's a golf day as part of this. There is the hiking, where we're looking at promoting fitness. This time there will be the soccer, then there will be the festival, there will be workshop. The most important is the workshop where we invite all the guys who are interested in arts and culture to come and be trained by the likes of yourself, as legends, and many others. We are doing that, and it's helping. It's actually it's helping these guys, and you see that's what we are looking at. So basically, that's the thing that we are looking at. We have been called on also in the Eastern Cape. They wanted us to do something in December, and then we are working on it. And we've been also called by Bushbuck Ridge. They want the same thing there. So beside what people might say or perceptions are, the work that we are doing in this country is recognized. Government recognize the work. They know that what we are doing, and we then participated in various structures within government to really give our input into this. So we are happy with what we are doing, and we are willing to be criticized.
So, Mr. Alfred Sighudla, what can you say to the people, including the journalists or the people, the word of mouth or the hearsay, talking about you chowing the money of the organization for your own benefit? You're not doing the right thing.
Well, I think the thing is that the board is very supportive. And obviously, if there was an element like that, no one is going to give you, because you get funding as a non-profit organization by giving what we call audited financial statements.
Audited financial statement.
You submit your audited financial statement.
You need to be accountable.
And there's no auditor who's going to actually write. And by the way, we are audited by reputable.
I want to clear that.
We will.
To the people out there, so that.
No, there's nothing. So, like I said, 20 years, we have 20 years of clean governance. We have a board that is active. And our finance manager is a CA by profession. And a pastor for that matter. So we've managed good books, and we continue to be given job because there's no issues of corruption or manipulation and everything. And I'm paid very well by the organization. I don't want to lie. I'm paid very well, and it's public. And what
you are also working in the organization.
I'm also working. I've got a very good package. As an executive, the turnover of the organization is big. So I can afford this and that. So sometimes the tendency is that if you work for an organization like this one, you're not supposed to be professional.
You're supposed not to be paid, actually.
I have a bond. I have a car finance, a proper car for that matter that is financed. Because I have an income that I'm working, because I have a salary that I actually get every month. So the tendency is that if you are working, you are not supposed to be a professional. You're supposed to be begging. No, I don't. We need to professionalize NGO work in this country. So where people have pension, they've got the pension benefits and everything. And I'm glad that we have got pension benefit structure in the organization. There's also pension benefits for me, and so on. So that's basically what we've done. So there are no issues there. And then and wherever there are allegations, we said those allegations must be tested. We are available. We are available to deal with those issues and everything. We are available to deal with those issues. So we are fine. There's no issues.
Other programs we never spoke about that you are busy with under Southern African Youth Movement?
Well,
or on your social side, entrepreneurship?
There is the container initiative that we are going to be introducing very soon. in a form of a spaza shop that is equipped, fully equipped, that can be
Or
given.
is a container
that fully
is
equipped.
going to run as a spaza shop,
Yeah.
fully equipped.
Which has got a 3.
Siyahlomiwa lapho, run a business.
Yeah, kuyoba ne 3 kilowatt system,
Yeah.
a solar and
The
all
solar.
that. And then obviously you know that small business is giving 25,000 a package for those smaller people. We want to see if that can be plugged into that initiative.
Yeah.
And then the first phase one to roll out is 100 of them in the new financial year. Then we'll be rolling up those initiatives and so on.
Yeah.
So basically that's what we're working towards. Obviously also fundraising money for them, because remember you need capital to set up something like this.
Yeah.
So we are working to raise the necessary funding, and we are happy that people are responding. They are promising to really support this.
Future plans for the organizations?
Yeah, well, is to continue what we are doing.
Yeah.
Obviously, we also want to create a fund so that we can be self-reliant to begin to fund the things that we want to do in our country and in our community. So that's one of the things that we need to look at, that, but strengthen also our visibility. We're also looking at really documenting the impact that we are making, not to sell what we are doing, but to actually make sure that the communities out there know the type of work that we are doing.
Last question, my brother. Personally, how can we prevent mostly young people from drugs before we get into a stage of building rehabilitation centers?
Yeah, I think you see we need more programs like before. The current culture is that all the activities that we used to do when we were young, that diverted our attention, are no longer happening. There's no enough space in communities. The facilities are dilapidated, no youth clubs, and of course also the fourth industrial revolution, the era of technology. Our young people, they lack what we call social skills, because they sit in their rooms with their phones, they don't interact, and they become then vulnerable because they don't have proper support structures, because they are always isolated. So we think we need to look at...
Phone is everything.
Yeah,
phone
we need to look at what are the
activities
activities that we can do that attract
It means
young
the life
people.
of now, a phone is like a community center to our children.
In fact, our children need what you call phone therapy. We need to limit the number of hours they spend on the phones.
Yeah.
And so that they can interact, even physically. If you look at the children, the way they are so obese, because they're not involved in physical activity.
Yeah.
So they lack those type of things. So, so I think if we then introduce programs like that, and then really try to show the young people to say their issues, but facilities, social facilities, like must be looked at, and I think that's where the partnership should come, because the maintenance of these facilities, government is struggling with that. But if they were to then say, MPO, we are working on this area, here is this sports facility, we give it to you, and we are giving you this budget, work, use it, maintain it. Then you will have a situation where some of these facilities are useful because there are people who are looking after them. So I think for me it's really continue working on prevention messages, and then creating the future, to say there's a future and everything. But the rate at which drug and substance abuse, I mean, it's estimated that it's costing us over 20 billion Ghana as we speak today. And it's a pandemic that is almost bigger than HIV and AIDS, if you look at it in the long run, if it's not addressed properly. So these are the things that we feel we need to work in and everything. And we're happy that initiatives like what the Israel Academy is doing in terms of training young people, you are diverting them from the street. You're asking them to find passion and discipline.
Yeah,
exactly, because they must go there. But if you then multiply what we are doing countrywide, then you'll begin to see the type of change that we look at. But unfortunately, we as society want to invest when there's a problem. We don't want to invest to prevent the problem.
We don't prevent the problem before the problem.
So we need to work in terms of preventing the problem. And everything. I mean, we've seen with when we're doing during COVID, when we were working around, we've touched over 60,000 families. We mobilized the private sector. They gave us they gave us huge quantities of food parcels that we're distributing. And it shows that that's a type of partnership that we also work with government, social solidarity fund, to do this type of work. So I think it's a question of saying, if we have this partnership with communities, we can then be able to address some of these issues that we have.
It's something we never touched on. During COVID-19, Southern African Youth Movement was very effective. Let's touch on that.
Well, we were one of the 3 top organizations in the country that actually was active. We targeted 60 to 100,000 households. And then we moved across the country, and our ambassadors, our partner, if you look at the people who joined, the crusade of actually making this thing possible, they risked their lives to actually form part of this program. We touched in various provinces, Gauteng, Eastern Cape, Mpumalanga. We were traveling to make sure that then we were able to provide this aid, because there was a need, and it was the area where organization must come in, and we got a very good coverage from various social media institutions like your NCA, your SABC. They cover our work very well, and we are very grateful, because we also want media not only to come when there are negative things, but they must also come when there are positive things, because what builds society is not negative things, but positive things. So I think the mentality, when you see it lasts, and then you ask a person whether it's half empty or half full, it's about attitude. If you say half empty, then it reflects on your mental attitude, how you look at issues. That's why when the Pakistanis are coming here, we are crossing the oceans across Africa trying to go to Europe. We are dying when people see opportunities in Africa. So it means sometimes attitude around how we look at things matters.
How can you advise young entrepreneurs?
Yeah, well, the issue of entrepreneurship is not an easy one, because we operate in the economy that is concentrated, which means there's a lot of monopolies, and there's a lot of challenges to actually break in and get into the market. So obviously, entrepreneurs need to look at the market, where the market is, and what type of products that can be put into the market, and what opportunities are there, and then really empowering themselves around those things. I think you need to, if you are a chef, you must concentrate in that trade, because the tendency of young people is to try to do things that are not capable of doing, and then it takes them time to actually perfect them, and then delay their progress in relation to the achievements that they want. But if they concentrate on the low-hanging fruits, on the things that they are good at, then they can see changes quicker than trying other things.
For the nation,
well, I think we've been obviously working on this. The journey has been hard, and there are a lot of things that people want to do in their lives, and obviously the legacy that we have created is the offices that we've done, the farms that we've been able to develop that are operational, and the impact that we have in people's life. And I think for me, it gives me joy to say I've done what I should have done as a South African that contributes to the challenges that this country has, and I'll be very, very proud. As I maybe migrate into other opportunities, spheres or whatever, growth, I'll be happy that we leave a lasting legacy of a very solid organization that is going to continue offering services in this country.
Name other countries across the world, African continent and Europe, that you are working with as Southern African Youth.
Well, we work mainly in the SADC region with all the 14 countries in the SIU, Zambia, Zimbabwe. We've got strategic partners that we're looking at. We are also currently chairing, as an organization, we're chairing the Southern African Youth Employment Network, which is a network that operates in the SADC region, focusing on employment. We will be hosting in September a SADC Youth Entrepreneurship Summit. Probably mid-range, we are busy negotiating with the likes of NYDA to host it in the country. So all those countries are expected to come. They are all coordinated by us here. And then we work very close with the African Union, and then we also work very close with the Pan-African Youth Union in the continent. And then we have got, in the past, we've worked well with the European Youth Forum. They're still our strategic ally. We've worked with them before. They funded some of our projects, especially the exchange project where we're taking young people from Africa to Europe, and then Europe also vice versa. That's what they were doing. So we were working with those organizations. Will continue to work. We also work with the Afro-Arab Youth Union that we are part of. We are responsible. We are part of the executive committee of Afro Youth Council. And just recently, we just finished yesterday the festival in Kampala. We were hosted by President Museveni. And so those are multilateral platforms or networks that we are participating in. And then we are exposing, especially for South Africa. South Africa, we are taking that. We are invited in Jordan, in various Arab countries for film festival. There's a film festival in which we are invited in Jordan in June. So we are going to be participating on those. So there are a lot of activities, countries that we've worked with, Nigeria, Uganda. Just yesterday we received a call from Liberia. They want to copy our drug and substance abuse program. They want us to assist with them, and then they will be coming to the country. We'll be visiting Liberia very soon to assist them at their own request, which then shows that we are doing a very, very good work.
Mr. Alfred, Sir Honorable Doctor, Chief of Staff, Commander, we thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, subscribe to Up Close and Personal with Israel Mzwakhe Zulu podcast. This was less about fair too. See you next time.
Thank you.
I thank you. I love you. Thank you.